What if I told you that some of the most overlooked real estate deals in America are sitting right out in the open, in a state most people completely skip when they start searching for affordable land and farmhouse properties? Not Florida, not Texas, not Tennessee, Alabama. And before you scroll past, yes, I know, it's not the state that shows up on anyone's vision board, but that's exactly why we're talking about it today. While everyone else is overpaying for the same worn-out listings in the same overpriced markets, Alabama has been quietly sitting here with wide open land, a long growing season, and price tags that make you do a double take just to make sure you read it right. Today, we're looking at 5 real properties across the state. Different towns, different budgets, different lifestyles. One is a waterfront auction listing with a proven short-term rental income history. Another is a brick ranch sitting in one of the most desirable small cities on the Gulf Coast at a price that makes 0 sense until you realize nobody's been paying attention. We're going from $269,900 all the way down to $60,000. And by the end of this video, at least one of these is going to make you open Google Maps and start planning a drive. Let's get into it. Number 5, Frisco City, Alabama, $269,900, the property. 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 2,217 square feet of living space on 5.6 beautiful acres, listed at $269,900, annual property tax, $434, that's the whole year. This is a ranch-style brick home built in 1993, sitting in the Uriah School District. The layout is exactly what you want from a farmhouse. Functional, spacious, and built for real life rather than a staged photo shoot. Gorgeous pine hardwood floors run throughout. Shiplap and beadboard details give it that warm, handcrafted character that newer builds simply cannot replicate without trying too hard. The kitchen is generous, over 300 square feet of actual cooking space, not the kind you squeeze past sideways. There's a separate dining room, a breakfast area off the kitchen, and a living room large enough to actually fit your furniture without negotiating. Primary bedroom comes in at 255 square feet with multiple walk-in closets and a private full bath featuring a soaking tub, separate shower, and double vanity. The kind of primary suite that makes waking up feel intentional. Outside, a rear porch, front porch, attached garage, and storage building. And then there's the land, 5.6 acres with an eastern view that opens up into open fields. The kind of view you stop mid-morning coffee to stare at for a few seconds longer than you meant to. Horses are welcome. The dog gets a real run. No HOA, no shared walls, no passive-aggressive notes anywhere. The area. Frisco City sits in Monroe County, a quiet corner of southwest Alabama that most people drive through without stopping. The town itself is small and unhurried. The Uriah school system covers this area, a detail worth knowing if that factors into your decision. Nearby Monroeville, about 15 miles out, is the county seat and H handles most daily essentials, grocery stores, medical, banking. Monroe County has deep roots in agriculture and timber, with a cost of living that consistently runs well below national averages. This part of Alabama doesn't make headlines, which is precisely why the prices still look like they belong to a different decade. Solid bones, serious acreage, $434 in annual property tax. That math is almost offensive in how well it works. Number 2, Summerdale, Alabama, $100,000 auction. The property, 2 bedrooms, 1 full bath, 1,082 square feet on 0.66 acres. Auction listing bidding ran through April 21st. Starting reference price, $100,000. Annual property tax, approximately $251. But here's where this one separates itself from everything else on this list. This is a waterfront property on Fish River, direct river access, private dock with power and water hookups, covered boat lift, upper deck, located in a no-wake zone with 3 to 4 feet of water depth. Ideal for kayaking, swimming to a nearby sandbar, or launching a small boat with easy navigation out to Weeks Bay, Mobile Bay, and beyond. The home is fully furnished and turnkey, washer, dryer, refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave, cooktop, all included. Inverter window units in the bedrooms, mini split in the living area, recent dock repairs, and a camera system already installed. Low maintenance setup. And here's the number that makes this listing genuinely interesting. The property generated approximately $28,170 in short-term rental income in 2025 as a partial year use property. That means someone was already running this as a vacation rental and it was working. The property conveys fully furnished, including 2 kayaks. ICC grant eligibility noted by the seller, worth asking about if you pursue this. The area of Summerdale sits in Baldwin County, one of the fastest growing counties in Alabama, driven by proximity to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach beaches, Fairhope, Foley, and the broader Gulf Coast tourism economy. Fish River itself is a beloved recreational waterway that flows south into Weeks Bay and eventually Mobile Bay. Properties on Fish River with dock access routinely list for $400,000 to $600,000 or more when they're in good condition. This property previously sold for $342,500 in 2023. It was listed as high as $400,000 in 2024. What changed? The seller needed to move it, and an auction format was the mechanism. For someone who's done this before and understands auction risk, including due diligence conducted before bidding, or after, this could be one of the most interesting buys in this entire video. Summerdale School rates 8 out of 10. Fairhope is minutes away. The Gulf is close. Number 3, Mobile, Alabama, $280,000, listed at $180,210 after price cut. The property, 4 bedrooms, 3 full baths, 1,673 square feet. Currently listed at $180,210 after a recent price reduction from $198,000. But we're placing it at number 3 on this list at its original positioning of $280,000 range for context. Annual property tax, $960. The listing description is honest about what you're getting and what's been done. Brand new kitchen remodel, new cabinets, new countertops, new sink, new flooring, new appliances, fresh paint throughout the entire home. 2 primary suites, one with a separate air conditioning unit, which in Mobile's climate is not a small detail. Fully fenced yard. Great room and dining room combination that's genuinely sized for entertaining. This is not a cosmetic renovation designed to fool a first-time buyer. The upgrades are real, recent, and the kind that actually add livability. Zillow estimates rental potential at approximately $1,491 per month, which starts to make the investment math worth running if that's part of your thinking. The area Mobile is Alabama's only port city and its 3rd largest metro. The economy runs on aerospace, defense, manufacturing, and the Port of Mobile, one of the top ports in the country by tonnage. Austal USA builds naval vessels here. Airbus has a manufacturing facility here. These aren't fragile economic anchors. The Navco neighborhood where this property sits is a working-class area on the south side of the city. Eyes open on that. Crime numbers in this zip code run higher than the city average, and it's worth doing your own due diligence on the specific block. But at $180,210 for a 4-bed, 3-bath, freshly renovated home in a major port city with a stable industrial economy, the conversation is worth having. Morningside Elementary is 0.3 miles away. Number 4, Fairhope, Alabama, $299,000. The property, 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 1,225 square feet on just over 1/3 of an acre, listed at $229,000. Annual property tax, $162. And it's currently under contract, which tells you something about how fast good deals move in this market. All brick construction, traditional ranch floor plan. Built in 1997, sitting at the quiet end of a cul-de-sac in the Woodmere subdivision. The backyard is fully fenced, private, contained, and exactly the kind of setup that works whether you have kids, dogs, or just the strong desire that your neighbor not walk across your lawn uninvited. 1-car garage, front porch, standard appliances included, dishwasher, electric range, refrigerator. The layout is straightforward and livable. No dramatic vaulted ceilings, no open concept pretense, just a home that functions the way a home is supposed to. Easy access to I-10 via Highway 181, which means Pensacola is a realistic commute, and Mobile is about 30 minutes south. HOA fee, $100 annually. For lawn maintenance grounds, that's it. The area. Now here's what makes this listing actually interesting. Fairhope is not a struggling town. Fairhope is the kind of place people move to on purpose. It's consistently ranked among the best small cities in Alabama. A walkable downtown on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay, RT galleries, independent restaurants, farmers markets, a pier over the bay that people drive hours to see at sunset. The schools are rated 9 and 10 out of 10 by great schools. J. Larry Newton Elementary is 0.7 miles from this property. Median home prices in Fairhope run between $350,000 and $500,000, depending on the neighborhood. This listing at $229,000 is priced well under the local market for a reason you'll want to evaluate personally, but the location itself is not the problem. For someone buying as a rental, a starter home, or a landing spot while they figure out the area, the math here is very interesting. Fairhope has been growing steadily for years and shows no signs of slowing down. Number 1, Abbeville, Alabama, $60,000, the property. 3 bedrooms, 2 full baths, 300 square feet, listed at $60,000, reduced from $99,900 over multiple price cuts. Selling as is. Built in 1997, it is a manufactured home, which matters for financing conversations, so know that going in. The property sits at the end of a cul-de-sac inside Riverview Forest Estates, a gated lakefront community. The lot sits directly across from the main lake with a water view, large front and backyard, a pole barn that functions as a covered carport or storage for boats and outdoor equipment, an additional storage building, paved circular driveway, metal roof, durable and already in place, large covered back porch. The listing is straightforward. This home needs TLC. It is not move-in ready in the traditional sense, but the structure, the metal roof, the pole barn, and the Lakeview lot in a gated community at $60,000 is a combination that makes you pause. Rent as estimate sits at $825 per month for context. The area Abbeville sits in Henry County in the southeastern corner of Alabama, not far from the Florida state line. It's a small town, population under 3,000, in a genuinely rural county where agricultural economy and tight-knit community are the defining characteristics. Nearby Eufaula, about 30 miles north, sits on Lake Eufaula, one of the largest man-made lakes in the eastern United States and a serious base fishing destination. Henry County runs well below national averages on cost of living. Property values are low, which is the point. This isn't a listing for someone who needs amenities or proximity to a major city. This is a listing for someone who wants a lake-adjacent weekend place, a hunting and fishing base, or a long-term investment in a community where $60,000 still buys actual real estate in a gated neighborhood. The school ratings are low, 2 out of 10, which matters if that's part of your equation. Know the area, walk the property, understand what the seller means by TLC. But for the right buyer, a $60,000 entry point into a gated community with a lake view is the kind of thing that doesn't show up often. And the fact that it's been sitting for 158 days means there's likely room to negotiate. Outro 5. Properties across Alabama, from a riverfront auction in Summerdale to a pine floor ranch on 5.6 acres in Frisco City to a $60,000 Lakeview lot in a gated community in Abbeville. Different towns, different price points, different types of buyers. Alabama doesn't advertise itself the way coastal states do. It doesn't need to. It just sits here with wide open land, a long growing season, and prices that remind you what real estate used to cost before everyone decided the same 3 states were the only places worth living. The links to every property on this list are in the description. Go look at them yourself, compare, do the math. And if you found this video useful, subscribe. We do this kind of breakdown regularly across states most people aren't watching. Let's get into the next one.